Cuties, what's up? We are back with some more of the daily N.O.D.E, and of course, today we are going to be making a dresser, specifically something that looks like a dresser that I have in real life. I don't know if you may call this thing a dresser. I don't know. I don't know what you call this thing. We're just going to call it a dresser. Question mark. Of course, QR code up there is if you want to help out the channel, head over to my throne there. That QR code specifically for getting a Nintendo Switch 2 for the channel. But yeah, we are going to start with maybe the top. Let's go ahead and edit this and scale it down on the Z. So I have a picture here that I took of the dresser, so I'm going to be looking at that from time to time. It doesn't necessarily have to be perfect. So I'm thinking something like that, maybe a little bit more. So probably right there is okay. A little bit more. There, let's go with that. We're going to take this, and this is like a foot, right? We can say that that's like 2 feet off the ground. Let's look at about there, like 2.5, nearly 3. So first off, I believe I want to take these edges. Okay. I'm seeing the fact that we have issue here because I hope my computer's bugged out right now because the VTuber model is probably it's like a memory leak or something. It's using more resources than it should, so I'll be right back. Alright, hopefully everything is fine now. Just reset the model. Yeah, there we go. So clicking on things is instant instead of heavily delayed because it doesn't make sense otherwise. So I'm going to take those corners and we're just going to bevel them. Am I going to bevel them? I mean, it doesn't really look like I should. Question mark. Let me actually take the tops and bottoms. And then bevel that. What that looks like. That is actually perfectly fine. I kind of got this weird thing going on the corner. What if I take that? Now that it's bent like that, I take you and then bevel that. Something like that. Yeah, that's okay. Question mark, I think. Might need to take it and scale it on the Z. But other than that, that's probably fine. Then I'm going to take that and insert face, just add an edge on that, and then do the same thing for the top and bottom here. Just insert faces into that to sharpen those edges. Then I'm going to take the top of this, and I think maybe I'm going to just increase its size. I'm going to do this manually, so maybe like there. Then bevel that, perhaps, to round it out. Something like that. Then I'm going to take this and insert face into you. And we could just add one to the bottom. Bottom doesn't really matter. Alright, shade smooth. That looks fine to me. I don't know if this is sharp enough though. Did I not? I mean, look at how many lines are here. Maybe I need to actually take this, dissolve those edges, and then come into here, and then insert face like that, so that that line is sharper. It's probably fine as is, right? Couldn't edit that. Come into there, and then mark seam. Deconstructing this thing is going to be annoying. Mark seam on that. So we could just keep that and then have a line going. I should have made these more even than this. It's going to mark seam there, and that can just be ripped in pieces like that. UV unwrap that. So it's just that, the two pieces and then go around. Okay, so that is the top of the dresser. Now we're gonna do the sides. The sides don't quite get to the... I should have looked at the back of this thing, because I don't know what the back looks like, if it's like even, or if the back of it's flush with the side. And by that I mean I don't know if... So let's shrink this. If it looks like that, or if it looks like this. That seems stupid, so I'm assuming it's something like that. So I need to go to about here. Scale this on the X. About, it's pretty thick, so about there. We want about, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe 6 inches off the ground. Let me just push that up to there. Origin to geometry, come back in here and edit you. Just a smidgen down on the side there. We're going to need you to be mirrored. So just scooch that into place, into that. And then over there, to the sides like that. Then take the bottom of you. And then again, we want like 6 inches or so off the ground, so about there. That's how much leeway on the ground that we want. And then for some reason, stylistically, let me grab this and pull this back. They went with... Let's see, I can actually cut it like this, and that would be perfectly fine. So I need to cut here. Then if I do this into 3s, it's not quite what I'm looking for. So I need to cut down the middle. Actually, what I need to do is push this until these cuts are where I would want them to be. Which is maybe there. That seems right. Maybe a 9 instead. Yeah, right there. Then I'm just gonna come in here and shift alt those and dissolve edges. And then I'm going to take a cut into the middle of that. Oh, did I get rid of the ones on the bottom? Whoopsie. Didn't mean to get rid of the one on the bottom. I just want these. And then cut inside of that. And then we have our things there. So let me just take you, and you. And I'm going to pull... Oh, I can't pull it forward yet. I need that to be cut, so let me go ahead and cut here and here. Now I can take these and pull them forward like so to the edge. And then I'm going to go ahead and bevel them backwards into rounded shapes like that. Is that fine? It is, except for the fact that I probably should just take the whole thing. So I guess if I try to bevel the whole thing, it's... Oh yeah, there we go. It will do what I want it to do. Like that. I might want to take this and push them forward a bit more because they're going to lose distance when they get beveled. And then come back into here and bevel them backwards again. And then, of course, just insert the things there. It's like 3 and 3. So that's an even spread there. I got rid of my mirror because Blender will glitch out sometimes and delete things that shouldn't be whenever you click undo. So there we go, we have that. Now, I probably should have taken all of the outside, but I am going to do that now. So I'm taking all of the outside so I can just have just this face here. I'm going to do the same thing for the other side as well. So you're wondering how I easily click the sides when I'm not actually clicking on it? It's because if you click next to something like the Alt left click, it's going to try to grab the closest thing next to it. So a lot of the times, instead of trying to click on the thing you're trying to click on, it's best to just click as far away from the thing that you're trying to click on as possible if the closest thing, even though I'm a mile away, is what you want to click on. Okay, so I did that because I want to Control L into this. And honestly, I kind of goofed up by letting this get too, there we go, too close to that. Because I need to insert face, and that's going to be an issue. I think, or no, it's fine. Okay, so undo that, because we need to grab both sides. Control L, I hit the mic there, I don't know if that sounded weird or not. Also turn the audio down today, maybe I should not have done that. Let me turn it up to 30. Just so you can still kind of hear it in the background. Control L, and then insert faces, and then do this, insert face. We go ahead and do that, and actually I probably should have, hold on, let's undo that. Do this and then clear seam so I don't have to try to fight with that. Clear seam. I don't know if I want this to be like that though. I think what we want is to do anything, clear seam. And then we want perhaps this. You know, like that. was thinking like you just want this whole piece to be one thing, and that's the center. Or maybe it was fine how I had it. Like that's all one piece and the sides are different. That's fine. Okay, so there's that. Let's just name this like top. It's like really hard to type here because my mic is directly in front of me. Shade smooth. The edges on this thing are pretty sharp. They're not what you call it. Hopefully that's not making a lot of noise. Let me just like pause and fix it. Like, there we go. It wasn't really in like a good position, so now it should be fine. So there we go. There's our side pieces. Do I want to go ahead and do the bottom? Let's see if I can. So add a cube as usual. It's going to just scale that down to about where it wants to go. Scale that on the X. It's going to go there, but it's going to eventually move out. So let me just take the bottom of this and push that up to where it will end up going. Like about there, I think. Take everything and scale it on the Y. Now you just move it back. Scale on the Y. Like that. And then from there, we want to... Honestly, would prefer to do this differently, but I'm just going to try it this way. I'm going to scale that up to about there. I think I even want to move it down a little bit like that. Alright. Then we want to take a cut to about here. Like we really need to try to like round it out, which is the annoying part. I think I'm just going to take a cut here and get it really close to that one. Just gonna mark seam there real quick. Control L. Then I'm going to scale that up a little bit. And then pull it up. It's too much. And pull that up to there. Also holding shift to make the movement slightly less. So now we have that. I don't like how this did that. I knew it was going to do that. This doesn't feel symmetrical. So Control L. Scale on the Y. Hit Y, right? Yeah. Scale on the Y until that looks better. No, this still doesn't look good, and I can't tell because this is in the way. This still looks thinner than that, so Control L. Scale on the Y. to there, but maybe it shouldn't be like that. Maybe it's actually is fine. It just doesn't look normal. I don't know. Let me just redo that. Redo that. And just live with it. So we got that. Then we want to cut again. Just gonna do the same thing. Yeah, of course, do this way easier. I'm just really doing this the hard way. So I'm going to go ahead and scale that out. Why do I have so much control? I don't want that much control. Then move that up to there. Again, that doesn't look right. Scale on the Y. Scale on the Y again, because it still doesn't look good. There. Then I feel like actually this bottom one doesn't extend too far out. So you can actually maybe lower it a little bit. Then we gotta take these edges here and maybe curve them. So bevel that and give it a spin to round those edges out. And you kind of want this to be one piece, but I don't think I can get away with that. Question mark. Also, the sides of this thing actually extend kind of further out. So I'll do that, and then maybe I undo that, grab everything, scale on the X and Y, the X and Y, a little bit, and then just push this. It doesn't really matter, it doesn't need to be pushed up in the back, so we just can scale it out like that. Shade smooth. I need to continue fixing this, so this needs a face inserted into it. So does the bottom of this. And all these individual pieces, let me just remove these seams so I don't get any weird nonsense. So you and you and you, insert faces. And then you and you. Sharpen that. I don't think we need anything there. So now we have that. And this needs to go into a new shape. I need it to be the same shape or as this. I don't know how easy that's going to be though. So just take me there and scale on the Y to be the right size. That's good enough. Now we need to do the X, scale on the X to there. Again, I don't know if I can even begin to do this, but I'm gonna have to try. Probably want just like a little bit extra space there on the bottom. Okay, I just need to make the shape first, and I can do the top. Would be a good way of trying to do this. It would be to slice this in half. Like that. And then would take this and this. And maybe this. I think I want to come into here and cut inside that individually. Then take that and take you and you. I could do these separately. I'll wait for that. And then I'm going to extrude this down to about there. And then keep pulling these down to about there. I think for ease of access, I'm going to cut that down the middle. Mark seam. L, delete the faces, and then I'm going to mirror that on the Y. So that I can have that perfectly matching this. Okay, then I need to actually cut into here and here. And instead of doing that, we want to just grab this and this, and we want to pull that down like so. Then with this, maybe we can do something like that, and then that. Probably should have, we can do that, and then clear seam, which is all of those edges, and then just take this and bevel that down, and then give it a little spin. We need this to be much bigger than that though, so I'm going to take that and pull it down to there, then take that whole side, then we're going to go ahead and bevel that down, of course, give it a spin. I can live with that. Take you and you, and well, I don't need to take that. Take this and this, and then pull you down. And then what can I get away with beveling with you? Oh wait, hold on, I need to do this. Now we'll take that and give it a spin. It's kind of a little bit too round, but this doesn't need to be perfect. I'm going to cut into here and here, to here and here. Oh, did OBS crash? No? That was weird. I saw flashing over there. Oh, my YouTube model, my VTuber model crashed. Let me go turn that back on. Right, there we go. I'm back. I really need a new computer so I don't have to deal with this kind of stuff. So we added those cuts. So I need to grab you, and then I'm just going to do the opposite and pull that up. Then take that and bevel it the other way to give me a curve like that. Then I think I'm going to actually take this and that. Dissolve edges on that. I need to dissolve this and this. So dissolve edge there. There we go. I don't know why these are here, so let me dissolve that. And maybe this one as well. There we go. So then that, we can take you and pull that down to about there. And then bevel that. No, bevel that. Till that matches with that. There we go. No, that's all like mess up, just to clear seams. So it's not weird. I know this looks jank, but that's fine. We kind of do want this to bend it down into that, so I need to take that, take you and pull you up just a little bit, I think. Take both sides, bevel. No, it stops being, what you call it. Honestly, I kind of don't want it like that, because this needs to actually come down. I'm gonna scale on the X so that it won't let me push it. Take that scale on the X. It needs to be median points. Scale on the X, that will actually push it to the side. Because I need this too. I know what I need to do. I know what I can do. Undo all of that. Undo cutting into that. What we need to do is take this and bevel that. That's what we have to do. Take that back to individual. Because if I do that, it'll curve around there so that I can do that. Like so. Creating that shape. And then for this, I'm going to push you up to there. And extrude down. Actually, I don't want to scale down too much. Just go do this first. Scale that up. And I'm going to scale this on the, median point. Scale that on the X, right? So that pushes it to the side. Scale X. Like that. Then we're going to extrude that down. Like so. So it creates this shape. I don't like this. This needs to be clipped, by the way. I don't know why that's not. What you call it? So you pull that and do that. This is all. Why is the side over here not done? This is why it needs to be. Okay, this is why it needs to be cut even further. I am going to mark seam, take everything on the side here, delete that, and then turn X on so it just copies in quarters. This is the only thing we need to modify now. So now that's all together properly. The side here, unfortunately, I think I'm going to have to cut into, I mean, not really unfortunately. And I wish the audio of these ambiances would not just fade to black essentially and just sit there for an hour. Okay, so now I'm going to push this in heavily and then bevel it by itself. I can't do that because that connects, so just a little bit and then bevel like that. And is it even possible for me to take the top here and bevel that without breaking anything? No, it's perfectly fine, so I'm just gonna do that. But went too far. So something like that. I don't think these corners need to be beveled, but we can see what we can get away with. Like that. The bottom can stay flat. What is going on down here? I don't like that. This is an issue. Scale on the Y. Because that should not be like that. Okay, that should be connected to itself, right? Okay, yeah, bad things are happening on the inside. We gotta check this stuff. X those faces. Anything else doing weird stuff in here, huh? It looks clear. Yeah, everything else is fine. It was just that needed to be dealt with. I need to take you and push you in a little bit. I think I'm even going to bevel because today's keyword is bevel, so let's do that. Just because I have a little extra finesse. Right. And then I think I'm good with that. The only issue is like this is probably not going to look nice because we don't have this being cut in a way that lets it have a face. Let me just try that. I'm doing this on the wrong side anyways. I need to be over here. So that goes to there, and then we need to do that. Mark seam. I did that so that I could do like, you know, this, and then insert face to try to solidify that. Of course I have to like wait until I can bind all this together though, because otherwise it's not going to work. Clear seam on that. Because I'm saying like, what if I come out here and shade smooth, you can see the weird geometry that's being made, especially here. It doesn't really like that. It doesn't like that I did that. Let's just go ahead and apply that. Go ahead and edit here. Didn't realize I left it in there. Clear seam. No, clear seam. Then take you. I might just hit this with a subdivision surface, which I haven't really done on camera before. I don't think. So we can do that. Then clear seam, so that sharpen the part below. But it still is funky, especially here. You can't actually see what's happening there. The rounding there is fine, but like this piece here needs to be inserted, right? Then can I even apply a cut to this? No, I can't. It's always like the worst part. You need to like apply cuts before you do anything weird. Otherwise you're gonna end up in like bad situations where stuff doesn't look right. So if I obliterate this with a subdivision, what happens? So that it kind of makes this look pretty gunky. What about ×2? The ×2 does fix a lot of issues, but there must be like a million vertices on this after doing that. It's just this is really dirty. I could just say forget it. Not forget it, but like remove these lines. Because I don't need them. Perhaps. So like I would go here. I guess even like there. And then that. Like clear. Where do you do these two? Just to see where that takes us. Deletes the edges. So it's just like a flat face here, which is fine. You could take this and connect it to this. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But I don't think that's going to work out too well, you know, because you could just, like I was saying, do like that, then that, and then that, and that, and that, and then enter that, and that cleans up a lot of how ugly this thing looks, but we're not going to do that. We're just going to leave it like this. I mean, it looks... So much of it is like really, really good. The top is fine. These curves are pretty nice. But then as soon as you get to here, just not great. But unless I do that, right? And that ends up giving this like a million faces. Let me just apply that so you can see how bad that is. I mean, look at how many faces that gives this thing. It probably has, so let's see, it generates, decimates. It has 26,000 faces now. Which is no bueno, but I'll leave it. I don't have a cut for this though. That's the problem, so let's just remove seams because they're all messed up right now, right? Okay, mark seam on that. God, tearing this is going to be annoying. We did do this, though. That should give us the entire bottom. So good thing we did that. So mark seam, I forgot to grab you, mark seam. So the whole bottom is torn in the top, so now it's just, I guess, can I just pick a corner? Like that. And then the mark seam, and then that will rip all of the outside off into pieces. Let's see. Yeah, that's acceptable. And I would not recommend making this the way I did it. You could do it way more efficiently. I don't know if I want to put the time into redoing it real quick as efficiently as I would want to, but how would I do that? Just like straight across and then do that first? I don't know. I think we just live with this abomination that we've created. Okay, so that's done. I kind of need it to be slightly bigger than that. So I'm going to increase its size a little bit and then move it. Yeah, moving it around is slowing everything down. It's the right spot, right? No. So push this back to there and scale that up. Move that down. So yeah, something like that. Just gonna save that top. We can do the back real quick. The back is literally just, oops, no. Like these things typically are, which is just a small little piece of wood holding it together. I'm just going to do it like this. So I'm going to bring you down to there, and then I'm going to push this into there, then scale everything on the X so it goes all the way across like that. Scale in the Z just to try to make sure that it goes all the way down. I didn't grab the whole thing. So like that. Maybe like a little bit less on the X, just so I have a little bit of overhang, and that's it. Like literally, that's it. We can mark seam on you, and then the opposite. Mark seam, and then just grab like a corner piece down there. Mark seam, then unwrap. We need the drawers. Which one? This picture, because it's such a high, like low res picture that I can't tell if the drawers go all the way across or not. We'll have to see. I guess I could just do whatever I want. I don't have to make this a functional thing. So we kind of need this to be... So I can just go all the way across. But I need to be able to fit 2 in here. I don't know what the distance is. Definitely ain't that. Like, I don't know what the halfway point is what I'm saying. So if I duplicate that and move it down, is that good? No, we still have dead space. So we want to scale the Z again a little bit. And duplicate that just to see. And now that's too much. Scale Z to there. Move you into place. Duplicate that. I mean, that's pretty close. I could just have that empty space be filled with something else, right? Guess I got rid of that. It's just the one piece now. And scale on the Y down. You're gonna see some trickery here because we're not actually going to make the thing properly, right? Because we don't have to. It doesn't have to open, so let's go ahead and scale this down. Like so. And I'm going to take these corners. Actually, I might need to have a piece in there anyways from what I'm about to do. I'm going to actually do it here as well. Maybe do them together. And then bevel this in combination. Do I want that? Maybe? What does it look like? Maybe that's fine. It's always weird that you have to do that, and you have to just scale it if you want it to be better. Okay, do I want to sharpen the inside? I probably do, right? I need to come into here and insert face. I guess it doesn't really matter, there's just a square there. What about here? Do we want to do insert onto that? That help out? Kind of necessary. How many things I did? I should have, like, you don't want to do them together, right? You want to do one side and then the next side. So I probably will just undo a lot of that. That's just like an old way that I would have done it, like an amateurish way, but I think what you want to do now is actually take the insides like that and then bevel that. And then take the insides and then bevel that. Like that. It's not the exact same, but that's fine. So I'm going to insert face into that. Insert face here. And insert face and scale. That do anything weird with that? Not really. And then take a loop cut just to cut into that edge. Shade smooth. And like that corner there isn't as sharp as it was before, but I don't care. And scooch you into here, like that. That seems fine. And maybe I do just want to, like, you know, shrink this down, like that. Need to reset the scale from what I just did. Edit you and give me that. Actually, just Need to get behind it. I can't zoom out too much. You, Maxime. That's fine. Can I just leave the rest of it? Just leave the rest of it. Don't need to do anything fancy with you. Let me get a plane. I'm gonna plane a cube in there. No, we don't want to. We can just use a plane. Plane. Rotate X. 90. Move it up. Just gonna scale it out. Scale on the Z. Scoot it down. Scale on the Z. I'm not going to bother trying to put holes into it because it doesn't need them. I need to turn these sides off so I can see where that's landed at. Push that up against it, like so. Take this, duplicate it, move it down to below that. I take both of these and then move them both down a little bit. There we go. We might take all of that and scoot it forward a little bit. Maybe again. Also reset their scales. They did something with the scale. I mean, I moved the thing in the background, right? Now let me just take that and UV unwrap. And there we go. I think this needs to be scaled up a bit. Their top is there. Okay, that needed a little bit more oomph, I think, for the top of it. Okay, then I'm going to... I want to use a cylinder, or not a cylinder, a UV sphere. Edit you. Don't do that. Come up here. I'll rotate this 45. No, rotate it 90. Guess maybe you want to cut you about here. Do faces. Whole thing. Scale it on the Y. To scrunch it down. Fill that in. Insert faces on that. Just gonna add. I was gonna say I was gonna add another one, but I don't need to. Then go about there. And there again. Then extrude that. Extrude it again. Extrude it again. Insert face. Okay, so you, Maxime, then you, Maxime, and then needs to be beneath it. Maxime on that. I wouldn't actually Maxime there as well. I don't know if I even needed to do that. UV unwrap. Shade smooth. Geometry. Scale that down to about there. Change its scale. Get you like way over here. Mirror on that. Can reset your scale just to make sure. and plug you in to the drawer. Needs to be smaller than that. Reset their scales. And the one on the bottom, I can't be bothered to do what I need to do for that one, which that one requires that I make a handle, and I can't be asked to do that right now. I'm setting that to 0 just so I can center this out. So we're just going to go with that. So it's not exact of how it is in real life, but again, I don't really care. Oh shoot, I just saved that to base settings. I hate when I do that. It needs to be saved as its own thing, and now I gotta fix base settings next time I come around to it. Dresser. Alright. Stuff. I'm not going to put the effort into making any preciser. What am I going to call this? I don't know. I'll say drawer, but it's D. Backdrop. I don't like naming these things. They don't matter. Now we just gotta color everything, right? Start with you. Probably just gonna be using the same wood we've been using 1,000 times. This is like a very, I don't know, you call it like mahogany? I don't know if that's what this looks like in real life. Control Shift T, and then go find your textures wherever they may be. I don't know where mine are. Here we go. We're not going to use the like dirty wood. We need plywood. And then we need to modify the colors. There we go. Get rid of you. And we don't want the roughness either. We want to do that manually because it's going to be like polished. And I don't know if we can just leave the normal. I don't care about changing that. So it's already pretty shiny, but I think we need to go to about here. That seems fine, maybe 2.5 on the shine. Maybe that's a bit much, maybe 0.3. That barely made a difference. 0.4. Go back down to a 0.3. Then we come over here and we need to add this. We need which way goes red? Down. It's this way. So 4.8, just like a 4.8. Saturation up, or yeah, saturation up. 6. 4. That's a bit too red, but that's only because it's not dark enough. So take me back to 4.6. Then this value needs to go up, and the value needs to go down. Oof, that's got pretty dang close in my opinion. If I do say so myself. I think I'm just going to stick with this color. Again, it doesn't need to be perfect to what's in real life because it already isn't. I'm going to increase the value here. It's 2, fine. Yeah, I want it more in detail on the wood. So that's good. I mean, honestly, that's incredibly perfect. It's just... Okay, no, I thought the model died again. The only thing I could think about doing is coming over here and let's see, maybe wave texture, Control T that. Come over here, color ramp, plug that into here real quick. The normal map is still going to be applied, but that's fine. Then we need to get this like really scaled up and distorted, I think. So, and generate instead of the UV. Is actual main texture not the UV? Okay, it is. Actually, that probably needs to be around the object, not like that. So like that. Bigger distortion. Size down maybe. Then I need to duplicate this. Plug this into a mix color. Put that into that. Need to screen this. And then -1, -1. Just -1, -1 for that, and I don't know if we just increase how much the white has control, question mark. We distort it differently as well. Take this. Texture, muzz, I think is what I want to do with this. So muzz into there. This would, of course, one of those things that's just way easier if you just draw it yourself, but I don't have time. Though. I mean, I have time, but I'm being lazy. So muzz on that. Maybe I have to. Like, I'm wondering why there's not that much of it here, because even if I expand it out, it's just going to not do exactly what I want. I think I'm just getting like crazy now. Because if we like do the same thing 1-1. Just keep like slightly moving the goalpost. Like a 2, 2, 3, 3. Like I just need like a very small bit of this. Maybe this one should even be bigger as well. I don't know. But that's still too much. I know, like, I don't know what the heck I'm doing right now, but just hold on. Because I'm looking at that, I'm like, okay, well, if I do that and then come over here with this and plug that into that, and then this into the bottom of that, and this needs to be multiply, and that into that. Actually, multiply is not what I want. I mean, that actually isn't that bad, but that's not what I was going for. What I was going for is the opposite. Which means these values need to be turned the other way around. Because I needed to screen this. Which means everything should be the other way around. It goes there. It's weird that like even flipping everything around, it still has too much white. So that opens everything up. Yeah, it's just like trying to do that the other way around doesn't work. I want to add like little white scratches and whatnot to it, but that's not going to be something that works here, so I think we just plug this in there and just call it a day. I can come back and do that another time if I want to. Let's just delete that. I know we just went on that excursion for nothing, but maybe you learned something from that. Okay, so let's grab the sides. I undid the sides, right? No. Dresser wood. Do I need a second one for you? No, you appear to be doing a good job. Question mark. I won't interfere with that. Okay, what about you? Dresser wood. Are you doing okay? You appear to be fine, if not low resolution. This has like a weird movement to the grain, right? But not horrendous. Like maybe the one in the back here gets a bonus 1, and then we take the value lower. Like even lower than that, I guess, like to a black. To make it stand out. You needs this. We need maybe just a rested middle. Shift T. find our rusted metal. Rusty metal sheets. This is 2K, but I don't need it to be high. So delete that. The base color is honestly almost perfect. Metallic. I feel like I can just keep it that color because that's kind of the color it needs to be anyways. I mean, I can just obviously color, hue, saturation, then pump that saturation up so that we get more of the rest. Like the rest actually gives us a good shine. That's already a good like metal. We can like 0.4. Yeah, 0.4 just to give it a little more oomph. Dresser metal. Yeah, they looked weird with just the one knot. I might just take that and move it down. Oh yeah, in the back. This needs to be dresser wood, but then its own wood because it needs to be the opposite, since I don't know why they do this. They just do. Oops. This needs to be back to 5. No, like just a regular hunk of wood like that in the back. I'm going to just delete that and duplicate that and just move it to roughly the center of that one. I think there's just a whole lot of nothing happening here, and that's like really throwing me off and upsetting me. Let's go that. Insert face, scale that down to about there. Going to bevel that. Then I'm going to scale. Going to grab this, scale that down. Get in there again. Then insert faces. Then I'm going to extrude that back, extrude it again, extrude it again, insert faces. And we can take you and you, mark seam on that. And then I guess we can maybe take the edge there and mark seam. And then perhaps do that, scale you down, scale the X, loop cuts to a circle. Scale that down, rotate that so that the things match properly, like that. Insert face, scale that down to about there, come into here, insert faces, then give it the old one too. So extrude, big extrude, extrude again, because that just gets the sharpening out of the way. And then insert face into that. Then we come down here and grab you and you, you and you. Mark seam. Do I want to do anything in the center there? UV unwrap. Everything should be fine. Yep. So what does that look like? Just giving it some depth. Centerpiece like reflects really weird. It looks like it's not actually proper, but it actually is. So all we gotta do is, I don't know if I'm done with this though. Like, do we want to go in for another slice in, or what? I don't know. By the way, the original doesn't look like this. It has some sort of weird design here carved into it, and the bottom one has a like knocker, I don't know what to call it, handle instead of the knobs. So we're gonna come into here and go one more time to here. Going to insert face. We're going to extrude, extrude, extrude. No, I didn't go too deep. No, I didn't. It's fine. And then insert face. So mark seam, I'm just going to keep that all one solid piece. That might have gone like too far, but I think that's fine. I guess you could add like some sort of gold into that, like a knob or something. You know, like what does the inside of this look like if I assign it to be the gold color? I don't like that. So delete that, delete, duplicate, move into position. That's probably fine. So there we go. Now like the dressers are maybe too ornate compared to the rest of this, I think, is the issue. Like there's too much going on. That center thing that I did, it didn't turn out well. I think that is just acceptable. It's not doing too much. It feels like it's already doing too much, but that's okay. Also, I need to come over here and find what that center is. What are you? You're this. So Control L, everything that's connected to that. And then I'm going to just rotate that and spin it. I'm spinning its UV so that it's matching that. And I'm literally spinning the face over here on the UV so that the grain matches that. So it's going downwards instead of fighting against it going across. Delete you, duplicate you, move you into position. And there we go. There's our fancy dresser, question mark. Slightly modeled by one I actually own in real life. Again, it doesn't exactly look this, but I mean, we took some artistic freedoms with it, of course. Yeah, there you go. Go ahead and get this into position in the camera as usual. I mean, I don't really need to do this part on camera, but you could just listen to me talk if that is something you want to do while I'm basically saying literally nothing. I typically like to have it like facing this way, right? So we need to do that and then scoot over here. We need to get closer about how we need to be looking further down, I think. Around there, I'd say is decent. Maybe give it a better angle to the side, like that. Yeah, that's pretty decent of an angle there. I mean, specifically for the thumbnail, right? That's what we do that for. This is for the thumbnail, but then it's also when I render it out from my Discord, which again, you can see all of these renders in my Discord. Let me actually just grab that and move it over here. There we go. So we're about to end. So yeah, cuties, thanks for watching. Remember to buy my stickers or think about becoming a member. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed, clicking on watch time and subscribers. And don't forget we have a throne now as well. And shout out to the members, EmmyStarr, RaleyDrew, and Alexgkiller 880. Yeah, cuties, thanks for watching. Tune into the next episode. Like, subscribe, hype, and comment. Into the deal. See ya.